I want to go right to Lara Trump, who's the co-chair of the RNC, who's been putting on this big party. Lara, how are you?
Yeah, no pressure. It's a big party. It's the first one in 8 years, Mike. If I mean, everybody knows because we really didn't have the traditional conventions in 2020 because of COVID. So we're excited. We're ready to go.
Well, you're excited because of how much unity we have here, and then you look across the street and you see, like, have you ever fathomed you'd see the Democratic Party crumble like they are right now in front of our very eyes?
And so quickly, too. I mean, that's the thing that I think has been astonishing to so many people is that, you know, I think there are so many of us who've been calling out obvious issues with Joe Biden for years. And clearly the Democrats have been lying about it. Clearly, there are so many people close to Joe Biden who've known he is not up to the task of being president of the United States now, let alone 4 years from now. You know, they want him to run for another term. And I think after that debate, to see how quickly things have changed. And I mean, look, truly the win was in Donald Trump's sails already, but it is extreme at this point right now. And it feels like it's a completely different animal. I'm not surprised in many ways because I feel like this is who this party is, you know, and their true colors are kind of starting to show, but we'll take it. On the Republican side, you may have noticed we're just kind of letting them go and do their own thing. We're excited to present an amazing convention next week. And I think it will be in stark contrast in terms of unity to what you've seen on the Democrat side. I don't think you've ever had a more unified Republican Party under Donald Trump. No. I certainly look back to 2016, 2020. Right now, in this moment, in July of 2024, we are totally united. We are all facing the same direction, fighting for the same things. And I think that is great as we head into, I think, the most crucial election of our lifetimes.
Yeah, so you have the contrast, of course, of what's going on in the Democratic Party, right? That's obvious. But then I also want to highlight the contrast with the 2016 convention, where you still had the, you know, the John Kasichs and the Mitt Romneys and the Jeb Bush trying to win a brokered convention or whatever. It's like, man, so you were there. That was chaos. There's no chaos in Milwaukee this week.
No, there will be none of that this coming week. If that's what people are tuning in for, you're going to be upset. There are a lot better things to tune in for. I can assure you of that. Yeah, it's different. And it's amazing because I think you look back to 2016 and so many people who were really kind of unsure, well, what's going to happen with Donald Trump? I mean, we're going to nominate Donald Trump as our nominee. Look what he's been able to do to this party. I mean, he really has changed the face of our party. He's invited so many people in, opened up this tent, and really changed us so much for the better. And I think now to see all the support behind him, it's amazing. And I love to see it. But yeah, I was there in 2016. In fact, if anybody remembers, Ted Cruz gave a speech that upset a lot of people where, you know, he was still kind of trying to be in the running and mess things up a bit. He spoke right before my husband in 2016. I can promise you we're going to have no shenanigans this time around. It is going to be a great unified convention, and I'm so excited for it.
Miss Ted Vote Your Conscience Cruz. So you such a moment. I was in the audience like, wow, what is going on here?
Yeah.
So you're putting this show together. When you're going into it, you're planning it all out. You're planning the speakers, you're planning the themes, the da-da-da-da. Who's it for? Who are you speaking to? Who's the main audience for next week?
Well, I think what people will notice is you'll get far less sort of elected officials speaking, which is kind of typical for conventions, right? You have a lot of congressmen, senators, governors, local elected officials. There will be a lot less of that and a lot more of real people, because this convention is for the people. You know, this is to talk directly to the American people and say, hey, remember what your life was like 4 years ago. Remember how much easier it was to make ends meet. Remember how much safer and more secure you felt in this country. And it really is for the everyday citizen in America. And so you're going to see that reflected very heavily in this convention. I also hope we can reach out to undecided voters. Obviously, that's a huge goal of ours, to independents, people who really we need to bring over to vote for Donald Trump and vote for Republicans in order to have a big win come November 5th. And I think talking about really how far this country's fallen in 3.5 years under Democrat leadership, and reminding people how much different it was when Donald Trump was there. You don't have to wonder, Mike, what will it be like if we elect Donald Trump? Because we had him for 4 years. And I think that's the beauty of things. We can very easily compare and contrast two presidents and two presidencies, and that's the goal.
Yeah. All right. So there's an opportunity to tell a story. So is that the 4-day story that you're looking at? That's the takeaway you want people to have? It's simple, and that, I don't mean that in a negative way at all. It's like a simple message. Like, here we have the A/B test 4 years ago. Is that the story? Remember your life 4 years ago. We can do it again and even better this time.
Well, I think that's exactly right. Yeah, we like to keep it simple. If you got a good thing, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what they say. So we're going with it's basic, but it's true and it's real. And the themes of our convention are make America safe once again, wealthy once again, strong once again, and great once again. And I think that is a message that will resonate with Americans. Look, people are struggling out there. This country certainly has turned in the wrong direction. And I think it is telling a story and really keeping it basic. We do have a great story to tell, and we intend to do that again with people, everyday citizens telling their stories and how their lives either were impacted by Donald Trump positively or have been impacted negatively by the Democrat policies, by Joe Biden's policies and all of the Democrats down the ticket. And so that's the goal. That's what you'll see, and I'm excited to share it.
Have you talked to the speakers or have any guidelines or about how much we're talking about Joe Biden or how much we're talking about the Democrats versus how much we're talking just about us? And then we don't even know if Joe Biden's going to be the nominee. So what's like the policy on this next week?
Well, I mean, look, the speakers, people are it's left up to them really to decide what it is they want to say. We're not managing people by any means. But look, I think that I always like to lead with positivity and lead with reminding people, about the great things that Donald Trump did. I mean, look, promises made, promises kept was a slogan, but it was real when Donald Trump was in office. So the things he's promising to do right now, you can be assured he will do once he's back in the White House. So I want to personally talk about the things he did, the things he's going to do, and, keep it a little less on, the kind of negativity. I think it's apparent to people. You don't have to sell it because they're living it every single day out there in this country. I will say we're going to have some very unlikely speakers. We're going to have some great surprises. And I think people are going to be kind of blown away and shocked when they see some of the people who come out on stage next week at the convention. So get ready and then pop your popcorn, because we're all waiting around to see what the heck the Democrats are going to do when we wrap up an awesome week. Man, then it's their turn. And we're just, who knows what they're doing on their side. It's in total shambles over there.
It's delicious is what it is. What's my last question for you? What's one moment you're most looking for? It's 4 days. We got a 4-day party here. We got 4, and you're in all of it. You're in the thick of it. You're hosting the whole thing. What's one moment in particular that you're like, this is going to be super fun?
Well, there's one speaker who it's a secret. I'm not going to reveal it yet, but there's one speaker who I'm really excited to hear from, because I think this person really will resonate with a lot of people. That's not a lot of great information. I'll tell you one thing I'm personally excited about is that my kids are going to come on the last day when my father-in-law gives his speech. It'll be a late night for them, but I think we're living through such a historic time right now. And my kids are 4 and 6 years old. I want to give them this opportunity and this experience to say, hey, I was there when my grandfather was nominated again by the Republican Party to be their nominee for president. I'm excited for them to come experience it. My parents will come, my brother will come. So for me personally, it's going to be really exciting, but I just think it'll be a great time for the American people to reflect on what their life was like and give people really hope for the future. Because I think sometimes right now, Mike, it's tough. Life is really tough for people. You see so much negativity out there, wars, an open southern border, disasters everywhere, people struggling. And I want to give people on the last day, in the last moment of this convention, hope that there is help on the way, that the future of America is bright. And we're going to see that when Donald Trump is reelected as our 47th president.
It's awesome. I know you'll put together a good party. Lara Trump, co-chair of the RNC. Thanks, Lara.